Hey everyone, and welcome back. So doing another list video, something again a little different, a little bit more fun. Actually compiling several different lists, and I think I mentioned this one. That I was thinking about doing this one a few weeks ago or something. Or ooh, no, what am I talking about? It was a month and a half ago or so. Anyway, it's been a while. Finally got around to doing it, but I think it's the perfect time for something for this kind of list, and it is indeed my top 10 favorite horror movie jump scares. Now, I do want to say that these aren't ones that I think are the best, sort of in a general sense. These are just personal favorites. These are ones that got me to jump and more than once. It wasn't just like the initial time when I saw it. It was kind of, it worked because a ton of them, are that way. But almost like once you know it's coming on other ones, it's like, oh, it's not really as effective anymore. But then there are ones that can still get you, over and over and over again. And these are also ones that I think from a filmmaking standpoint are very well done. Which I think is why I find them so effective, because they work, because they were so well done to begin with. Now, I am technically going to go from 10 to 1, but these aren't really in any specific order. Although I will say probably the top 3 are in order, and then 4 to 10 are kind of like they could almost be in any order, but kind of wanted to have a nice countdown anyway. So anyway, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Let's get right to it. So starting at number 10 is The Conjuring, which I know there's a couple of actually really good scares in The Conjuring, but probably the most known one is the hand clap moment, which is a fantastic scare. For sure. I can't remember the first time I saw it. It was just like, wait. I remember the entire theater, including myself, jumped, and there were gasps and everything because it was so well done. I think the only thing about that one for me is just the fact that because over time, because I know it's coming, it's not that it doesn't still work, but it's just not like it doesn't quite affect me as much. And not say it's not creepy. Of course, it's creepy, but the one that I think sometimes it gets forgotten, and definitely it's one that does keep making me jump, and specifically the last time I watched The Conjuring, which actually was recently from this recording. Holy hell, did this make me jump. And that is early on in the film. It's actually when Lily Taylor's character is saying goodnight to all the kids, and it's very quiet. The kids are like, I think, in bed, getting into sleep and all that, and everything's kind of settled, and you just hear this massive bang, and she runs to the staircase, and like all the pictures and everything that were on the wall have just been like knocked off and shattered. That made me jump so high, and it has several times, I think, because I keep forgetting the exact moment. Like, I kind of know it's coming, but I kind of forget like the exact moment when it happens, so it still affects me. But the last time, because I hadn't watched The Conjuring in a while, yeah, I literally jumped. Like, I jump. Like, I hadn't jumped that much, big in a while. So anyway, so that scene from The Conjuring is my number 10. And coming in at number 9 is Alien, which I still think has one of the best jump scares as well. And again, it is one that will still get me, even though I know it's coming, but I think it's just everything about it is just so perfectly done. It could still kind of get a little, sort of shock out of me. And that is indeed the moment when Dallas is killed, when he's in that like vent kind of thing, and they're all telling him like he's got to get out of there, because they're picking up the signal of the alien kind of getting too close to him and stuff, and the music is just building, and then finally he's in this thing, he's got a little flashlight, and he just turns around and there's the alien like right there. Fantastic jump scare, and definitely one that, will still get to me to this day. And coming in at number 8 is A House on Haunted Hill, the original from 1958. And there's a great jump scare in there with, if you've seen it, with the old lady moment, which is, again, maybe not quite as effective to me as it was when I first saw it, but it is one that it can still get to me. It can't, again, even though I know it's coming, like, it can still get to me because it is so perfectly done, because it's very. It does kind of come out of nowhere, where you have a character who's sort of very calm and looking around and doesn't have the sort of stereotypical build up to a scare, and it's not until she turns around and there's just like the old woman there.
Tap, lower down.
And it's just like, it is so perfect. And that's definitely, again, that is one that you can still get to me from time to time. And coming in at number 7 is actually, ironically, Seven, the movie Seven, which has a fantastic jump scare. Again, another one that can still get to me time and time again, because the timing of it is so perfect. And that's indeed when they're in the apartment for the sloth character, the one that sort of had been given all the drugs and everything over the years, and his body was just kind of deteriorated and just basically a corpse at this point. And of course, as they're kind of going through like the bedroom and everything and looking over his body, there's that great moment where like you think it's literally just a corpse. I mean, literally looks like a corpse, and then all of a sudden he starts breathing and making noise and everything, and it's just like, oh my god, he's still alive, which is such an amazing scare, because Seven is it's basically meant to, in sort of the like the realistic sort of realm where nothing in it is really sort of like out of the ordinary, and what I mean by that is it's like everything is in a realistic sense. Even some of the more intense stuff, I mean, can still happen. That's kind of the only moment where it's sort of wavers on that, and I think that is why it's so expected, because you're not you don't think something like that will happen in this film.
He's laughing at us. You got what you deserved.
He's alive! He's alive!
And yeah, again, that's one that can still get to me to this day. And coming in at number 6 is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which obviously everyone knows the shower scene. It's, I mean, it's so iconic. Even if you've never seen Psycho, like, the shower scene, the music, the ee, and all that. But the one that has always been effective to me, and I think it's because everyone always talks about the shower scene, but the one that really stands out to me, and the one that actually still works, and I've seen it work. Like, I've seen screenings of Psycho, and you could always tell, like, people sometimes forget about this moment. I've seen people jump, and it's the moment when Arbogast, he comes into the house, and he's coming up the stairs and everything, sort of snooping around, and he's walking slow, and the music is very, very subtle, and it's sort of just slightly sort of underneath everything. And then as soon as he gets to the top of the stairs, of course, it's that great overhead shot where all of a sudden, Mother comes storming out of the bedroom with a knife and just, comes down and cuts him. And then obviously falls down the stairs, and then she goes down and cuts him some more. It's that great moment because it's that sort of, it's slowly building up to something, and then it happens so fast, and of course it also repeats the music. So sorry, Bernard Herrmann, I know that's not a proper interpretation of your amazing score, but yeah, I just think I've always thought that was an absolutely fantastic scene, just absolutely incredible. And yes, obviously, again, I know it's coming, but boy, it works. And then coming in at number 5 is Insidious, the first Insidious, and this is a moment where it's funny because actually, just like Psycho, it's like everyone always references the one jump scare, but to me, this other one is much more of an effective one because for me, I think it kind of stays with you. So obviously everyone knows, if you've seen the film, obviously the infamous one where they're all at the kitchen table and then cuts to the Patrick Wilson character and the demon is like right behind him and it's just like just it comes out of nowhere. It's not like it builds up to anything. It's just, I think it's his mom, right? Barbara Hershey character, who's just like, there's like, I see something behind you, and it just cuts to him, and there's the demon behind him. Fantastic jump scare. I'm not taking anything away from it, but the one that to me really kind of works on a whole different level is a little bit earlier in the film when it's the middle of the night. The Rose Byrne character is going to the baby's bedroom to make sure the baby is okay, because there was like a loud noise, and like Patrick Wilson's character like goes downstairs and try to see what's going on. But then she runs to the baby's room because I think she hears the baby's crying, if I remember correctly. And as soon as she goes into the room, you have the baby's crib, and then you have sort of a sheet that's kind of hanging over it, and stuff. Mainly, I think, facing the window to just kind of avoid any like harsh sunlight coming in during the day. But you see a ghostly figure behind it, and it's such a perfect scare because as soon as she walks into the room, it's not like she walks into the room and you have that, the music sting that happens. It actually holds for just a second because she walks into the room and it's like we all with her. It's like, wait, am I seeing that? And then as soon as you actually see it, then the music sting comes in. And I think it is absolutely fantastic because it does do that, because it does have that momentary pause for it, and which I think just lends itself to just a whole other level of like creepy, whereas the other one with the demon and stuff, like I think that's just a great jump scare. But to me, this one in the baby's room is just like, that to me is a little bit more on the, really unnerving level. And coming in at number 4 is John Carpenter's The Thing, which has a lot actually really, really great moments in it. But the one that as sort of jump scares go, I think really has always been effective. And again, another one that it's like, man, it's made me jump so many times, and even when I know the exact moment when it's coming, it can still get to me, is obviously during the scene where McCready is testing everyone's blood to see if they're infected or anything, and he's holding the one of the trays. I'm blanking on what they're exactly called, but he's got the blood samples in it, and he's got the heated metal piece that he's sticking it in to get a reaction, and it finally gets to, he does it a couple times, and this is what's genius about why I think that moment is so effective as it's building up to it, is because they bounce back and forth between Kurt Russell's like real hand holding it and testing it, and then there's like a couple times where they use the fake hand kind of just in the foreground using it. So it's not always like an immediate like, where you kind of notice like, oh, something's different. He's testing it and it's negative, and then when he finally gets to the point where he does test it and you get that the blood that just sort of shoots out and stuff, which it's just perfect in every single way. Just the way it's done, again, from a filmmaking standpoint, a technical standpoint, even by the makeup effects.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last.
And what helps is just that like almost scream sound effect that happens, when the blood kind of shoots out and stuff. Just absolutely perfect. And yeah, again, another one where it's like, I know it's coming. I know the exact moment it's going to happen. Ben, yeah, it so gets to me. It so gets to me, the genius of John Carpenter. So the top 3, I think I am going to put into order as my top 3 favorite ones. So coming in at number 3 is Creepshow, which again has the jump scare that has always gotten to me and can still get to me. It's in the Father's Day segment, the first story. Bedelia is at the gravesite of her father and stuff, and she's, telling, kind of, talking to him, as it were, about everything that happened. And then just as she's sort of kind of done, and she's sort of, what's her line? "Oh, it's so peaceful here." And then just in the foreground, so she's just, so it's a shot where she's kind of back here, and then just in the foreground, his hand comes just right out of the ground, and there's that great music sting when it happens. That's, again, it makes me jump. It has always made me jump.
The peaceful head.
It has that perfect moment where it builds up to stillness, and then it happens, and as soon as it happens, it's just intense, and obviously he comes out of the ground and all that. Yeah, I just think, again, another one that is just so perfect in every way that it is done. And coming in at number 2 is in John Carpenter's Halloween, is the moment when Lonnie and the kids are at the school, and they are teasing Tommy, with the jack-o'-lantern, and they trip him, and he falls and breaks the jack-o'-lantern and everything. And then all those kids scatter, and you just see kind of Lonnie, sort of running down the side of the building, then comes to the sidewalk, and of course there's Michael Myers, the Shape, as he's known in the first one, and just grabs him, and there's a fantastic music cue, and then it kicks into the theme and stuff. And it's just like, that to me, again, that's one of those where I would argue is actually one of the best ever done, because it's done so simply and yet so perfectly.
Boogeyman, ooh, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman.
It may not technically make me jump as much as maybe the Creepshow one, but yeah, I just think that is, in my opinion, arguably one of the best ever done. And once again, shout out to John Carpenter. And then finally we get to number 1. My favorite jump scare from any horror film is definitely from Exorcist III, with the nurse scene, which I have to admit is one of the best jump scares, if not it's the best jump scare I know for me that I've ever had. And I would argue it's definitely one of the best ever done, at least, at the very least, in the top 5 for sure. If I had to put together a list of what I think are the top ones, as far as favorite ones go, that is easily at the top of my list. It's effective on every single level, and it is one where, again, it uses quietness to build the tension. You don't have the music kind of building up. It's just, you have the quiet that builds the tension, but something is going to happen. And the fact that the majority of that scene, outside of just one moment, is just one single shot. Just building until that amazing moment. And yeah, and for the first time today, because I did get it in not too long ago from this recording, I'm actually wearing my Exorcist III shirt, which you can see right there. There's actually, sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. Jeez, can I straighten this out? There we go. There, boy, this is hard to do. There we go. Let me use this hand. There we go. It's right there. Boy, did I just make that far more complicated than it needed to be. But anyway, but yeah, so I just think that is by far my favorite jump scare from any film. And again, one that still can get to me every single time. So those are my picks for my top 10 favorite jump scares. Now, I will say that I have a feeling there are so many, when I was compiling this list, I was trying so hard, because I really feel like I know I'm forgetting some that as soon as I remember them, it's like, oh, that really should be on my list. So I don't know, may have to do an updated list at some point, you know, once I kind of figure those out. But that's not so bad. Hey, it'd be a reason to do another fun video. So let me know some of your favorite jump scares. I definitely am going to do a lot more like this. Already got a couple other lists almost ready to go of different things. I have to give a very special shout out to my channel members. I can't thank you guys enough for taking the chance to be channel members. I hope you're enjoying it. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.